So a little while ago, we had a bit of a kerfuffle, to say the least. There was and I don't know, I haven't read his title, I'm not sure exactly what he does, but his name's Adam Orth, and he works for Microsoft.
He's a creative director at Microsoft Studios.
Is that what he is? Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what he is.
He had some controversial comments about always online DRM.
Oh, Lee, you're being so nice.
So
you're being really nice.
You can pretty much find the comments. Well, I'm going to link the one article that I found, but you can probably just Google search his name and you'll get much different articles. This one was the one I found that was the most compiled everything that he said. So that was why I chose this one. But yes, so basically he was making. It started off. He started saying. I think the biggest thing, in my opinion, was that. Well, you can read through if you want, but the biggest thing that he said, in my opinion, that was the most offensive was when he was. I want to read the exact quote here if I can find it.
I think I know which one you're going to say.
Yeah, it was about... Oh, there it is. He said, he was complaining about DRM, and somebody said to him that power goes out and internet cuts out and stuff like that. And so then he said, you've lived in... And this guy, he was... I want to read his title, too, because he's not just a nobody. He's from BioWare, the guy that was talking to him.
Props to BioWare.
He said to... So this is Manveer Hare, I think his name is, from BioWare, talking to Adam Orth. He said, you lived in L.A., San Francisco, and Seattle, very connected places. Try living in Janesville, Wisconsin, or Blacksburg, Virginia. So what he's implying is that try living in an area that doesn't have very good internet, which I think that it pretty much encompasses all of Canada, because our internet is god-awful. But his comment, he said, why on earth would I live there? Implying that he was just... I don't even know what to say. He's just being an ass. Like, you can have comments on DRM and stuff. Like, he was saying... The things he was saying was a bit stubborn, but he's arguing honest points, talking about, like...
being in a connected world.
Yes, it wasn't so much what he was saying, it was how he was saying it is the problem.
This is what he should have said. Sorry, I don't get the drama around having an always-on console. Boom. Done with it.
That's perfectly fine. You're perfectly within your right to say that.
Deal with it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He definitely didn't have to add
Danny.
Why on earth would I live there?
Hashtag deal with it.
Well,
hashtag.
I'm not going to hashtag in real life.
So, some people said that he was just joking or hamming it up because he knew the person, but...
Still.
If he's going to do something like that, it's something you can do in a private message, not to everyone.
Not on Twitter.
Especially because this is a super, a very controversial topic at the moment right now.
Mm-hmm. So, he was arrogant and ignorant in every possible way.
And just from a pure public relations standpoint, it's not something you want to be saying.
No. He basically managed to offend everyone that isn't America.
Yeah, and not even that. Anyone who isn't in of a major city in America.
That's actually somewhat impressive.
Sorry, they don't have Google Fiber.
Yeah. But
and I feel like we're probably a little bit more impacted by this because we kind of come from a moderately rural place. One of us more so than the others.
Yeah.
Lee.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't even, in comparison to somewhere like a large city in... I'm not sure how internet is in Toronto. I'm still assuming it's terrible because it's going to be, Bell, Rogers...
Yeah.
Or Cogeco, and let's face it, all three of them are terrible.
So, yeah. Regardless of where you go, regardless of the size of the city, the internet's always going to be terrible in Canada, just because of our IPs are disgustingly bad.
Yeah.
We pay too much for terrible internet. But that's an entirely different topic.
We'll
but
say that for another day.
it stems off of it is in relation to this. So, and I think that's the reading through all these tweets. That is what was happening. What I was saying before was that he was just kind of joking around with this guy, but still, it's not something you want to say like to all of your Twitter followers that can see this.
Yeah.
It's
really just bad taste.
Yeah, but the things, well, some of the things he was saying, he brings up a good point. People complain about, like, he was saying the power goes out and stuff like that, and he said, this is Adam Orth saying, sometimes the electricity goes out, I will not purchase a vacuum cleaner. And he said, the mobile reception in an area that I live in is spotty and unreliable, I will not buy a mobile phone. So, I guess it is a good comparison, and those weren't to anyone. Those were in general tweets, yes. So
I think part of it is just because this whole online thing is so controversial, and then someone screwed up, made an offensive tweet, and now everyone's jumping all over him.
Mm-hmm. And especially because there's the whole, like, the net. They're talking about, I think it was a few days before this happened that they were talking about the next Xbox was going to require, like, internet only, or an always-on connection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says it's going to require that, and you have to install your games on your hard drive. Like, you can put the game in, and you can't play it directly from the disc.
That's just stupid.
Is this kind of making up, like, one of the biggest problems that I've never owned an Xbox, so Danny, you might be able to speak for this, but the biggest thing that I saw was just like, I can play on the disc on my PlayStation, and the Blu-rays are vastly superior, right? And everybody was talking, like, you have to download things to your hard drive and stuff like that, and they were like, and half of the most popular Xboxes that they were selling, what was the smallest thing that it went? You could get Xboxes that needed memory cards.
When the Xbox first came out, I have the Xbox Pro, the Xbox 360 Pro console from 2006, and that only has a 20 gigabyte hard drive.
Exactly. And what is
the newer ones now have 320 gigs.
And what about your PlayStation? What is
160 gig, but I don't use it. I bought the cheap one.
So, but that was, when did you get yours? Was that at the time of the?
No, I had an original 80 gig one from 2007, and then I got the yellow light, and then we had to buy a new one. So we got the slim version.
I got the slim 250.
Yeah, but no, the problem with, like, Xbox was crap, I forgot what I was gonna say. What is the point of having an optical disc then, if you can't even play it from the optical disc?
Yeah. Why wouldn't they just make it so that you buy, like, a flash drive or something like that with?
Or, like, you buy, like, a voucher code or something.
That too, yeah.
You know,
I think the reason why is because the Xbox, the next one, is supposed to be able to play Blu-rays, but you can't. And, like, games will come on a Blu-ray disc, but you can't play them on the. That is just the rumor. But this is what I'm thinking: if the games come on a Blu-ray disc, and you have to install them on your hard drive, can we just stop for a second and consider just how large Blu-ray discs can get? How large does your hard drive have to be?
Yes,
like, you would need at least, like, a 1 terabyte hard drive in order to have a decent amount of games. And the problem with Microsoft, and this is the problem with the Xbox 360, is that they don't use standard hard drives. Like, with the PS3, you can take a laptop hard drive and put it in. Isn't that what you did with your old PS3?
I did once.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, you can just do that with a PS3. With an Xbox 360, you got to buy a proprietary Microsoft hard drive, which is vastly more expensive than any other hard drive.
It's more marked up than hard drives are already marked up.
Yeah. Basically, think of any overpriced Apple product, and I have never thought I'd say this, but a Microsoft hard drive is more overpriced than an Apple laptop.
It's pretty overpriced.
Yeah, exactly. It is absolutely ridiculous. Like, here's a great example. If my Xbox ever breaks and I need to buy a new one, because, like, there are some games for Xbox that I do actually want to play, I would have to not only have a new Xbox, I wouldn't be able to transfer my hard drive over directly because it's a different hard drive configuration. The slimmer Xbox has a different hard drive than the older fat one that I have, so I would also have to buy a $30 transfer cable that I'm only going to be using once.
Wow, $30. Oh my god. And they wonder why people complain about them trying to just take money. It's garbage like that.
Yeah, because like the slimmer Xbox has a smaller hard drive, and by that I mean like a smaller form factor. So you have to buy a special cable, and it's just ridiculous. Like, come on, it's almost as bad as Apple selling adapters. Again, like, I feel like Microsoft with the Xbox just basically said, "Oh, you guys want to see the biggest douchebag move ever? We're just gonna be worse than Apple."
It's like a competition.
Oh, you guys think you're assholes? We're gonna be even bigger assholes. That's pretty much what they're doing with the Xbox.
We're gonna take everything that Apple does, and then also the things that they do wrong, and we're gonna multiply the things that they do wrong by 10 and do those.
And then we're going to charge everyone 10 times more.
But it's the proprietary hard drives that really irk me so much. Because, like, this is the problem that I'm actually worried about when I have the time to play the Citadel DLC. I don't think I have enough space on my hard drive left.
Are you still playing your Xbox for the single player?
Yeah, because I have Mass Effect 1 and 2 and 3 for the Xbox.
Oh, okay.
So I have all three, but the problem is I had to buy a USB stick and put all my Mass Effect 2 content on there. Because I have a Kasumi, like, Zaid, Lair the Shadow Broker, Overlord, sorry. I have all of these, and then I believe I had to delete a lot of games from my Xbox. I think the only game saves I have on there are Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, Lost Odyssey, and Assassin's Creed games, like the first ones. That's it. Because it just takes up too much space.
Wow.
Because I believe, how large was Leviathan, and what was the other DLC? Omega?
Yeah.
They're probably just under 2 gigs, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones there are approaching, in total, all the Mass Effect stuff I have approaches 14 gigs.
Yeah, Citadel is bigger than what the Xbox can handle. You actually have to download it in 2 parts.
Yeah, so, like, how am I even going to play it? I can't even play it. I'm almost confident I can't even play it. I'm going to have to go buy a new USB stick just to put it on it so I can play it.
Or just get the PlayStation Collection.
I'm very tempted to do that. It'll probably be cheaper to do that.
Yeah.
But,
like, I can lend you my Mass Effect 2 if you want.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. This just frustrates me because, like, I love the Xbox. Like, there are things that Xbox does that's much better than PS3. The user interface is so much better. The controller, I find, personally, is better. But then it's just Microsoft is just,
Cash cow.
And another
the Xbox brand shouldn't exist. That's what I'm saying. They only exist to stop Sony. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Another thing that people can bring up when we're talking about having to download from the disc. So I think what they're doing by that is, like, they're just trying to encourage people to download just off of the internet and just kind of get rid of the disc altogether. Which, at this point, I think I'm indifferent. I don't really have an opinion either way. But until... well, I know with my internet, because I can't get standard internet, I have to get, like, a special, like, rural line of sight internet, right? So they cap it. Like, I don't know what your guys' internet is capped at, if it is.
I get 300 gigs a month.
Oh. We get, at my house here, we have about 120, but we go over that all the time.
Yeah, and I'm...
Netflix, like, everyone. American Netflix. There you go.
So let's say, how much can a Blu-ray disc hold at full capacity?
A dual-layer Blu-ray disc is... Well, Metal Gear Solid 4, I believe, was the first one to use dual-layer 50 gigs.
So, think about even if they
use...
Blu-ray
can get even bigger.
And think about if they use half of that. Every time you have to download a game off of the internet, it's 25 gigs.
Wow.
It's outrageous.
And internet speed right now sucks.
Yeah.
It's absolute shit.
So then what happens if you're in a place where your internet cuts out?
Well, that's going back to what they talked about, what the tweet was supposed to be about. Why would I want to live there? Well, don't...
You know what? There are people who live there who want to play your system and you're denying them the ability to play on your system.
Yeah.
Because if it's always on, like it's not only the fact that if their internet sucks, you have to worry about if Microsoft can handle the servers as well. Because if it's
That
always
too.
on, Microsoft has to be able to handle the servers.
And so far,
Look at the whole SimCity and
yes,
Diablo 3.
They've had a bad track record of
And
that.
like, what if you're playing like a multiplayer game? Like, I was actually just watching the Dimquisition video, and he brought up this fantastic point about, you know, the whole backwards compatibility thing, where like consoles now are allowing you to not play backwards compatible games. Like, you can't play PS3 games on a PS4. Well, so if you want to do that, you play PS3 games on a PS3. Now, what if you have an online-only shooter for this next Xbox? Say Destiny, for instance. So Destiny comes out for the next Xbox, and say 7 years from now you want to play that game, but you can't play it on the Xbox 1080. So you're like, oh, I'm going to go play it on the Xbox 720. What if they shut down the servers because it's not making money anymore? You can't even play your game anymore.
Depending on, especially if for a game like that, they're obviously going to put a lot of money into the servers, so I can see them as the game gets bigger.
We're guaranteed at least 10 years on the servers.
No, I was just using it as an example. Like, what if a smaller company does that?
Because
like, what if you're playing, like...
You can go back on PS2 and they still have servers up for those. So
No, but it's just like a theoretical thing, like a hypothetical scenario. Like, what if that happens? You were denied playing your game. That's why always on consoles, like, why?
Well, that's part of why PlayStation didn't want to do the downloading thing, because then if someone, or like the one use per disc, because then if someone's disc breaks, or if someone's console breaks, they have to buy a new game because their console's busted.
And it's also like it's like what you're saying, like the one disc thing. A great example for the always on thing is Ubisoft has their Uplay stuff, which is DRM. I remember there was a game called Anno 20 something. I don't know. It's some game for the PC. You were only allowed 3 installs of the game. And basically the game apparently recognized a changing of a graphics card as an install.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
wow.
Getting back to this guy and by extension the new Xbox, I don't know. I think just in summation, it could have been handled better, and this is sort of a PR nightmare, especially considering, I don't know about you guys, but I've heard jack shit about the new Xbox.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's supposed to be announced. Actually, this is where it gets better. It's supposed to be announced next month. Sorry.
Right.
And the price is going to be $500.
Jesus Christ.
That's not outrageous, but it's definitely pretty high.
No, I'm going to read the full article. It's on IGN right now. It's like, I feel like I've read comments about this. I feel like Microsoft right now is Sony from the PlayStation 2, where they think they can just do whatever the hell they want and get away with it. $599. Expect someone to yell Ridge Racer. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I think that, like, just in general, well, I don't know. I had something I was gonna say, but the most I've heard about the new Xbox was from this event. Like that's a little like. So I guess it's good in a way because they got.
It's better than no information.
I guess this could also be a case of bad publicity equals publicity. It's still publicity, right? So.
Yeah.
But I also read a thing talking about this guy, and so this is just internet hearsay, I guess. But people were saying that he's not the easiest person to work with, and that he's a bit of a conceited asshole. But I have no idea because I've never met this guy. So,
Lee, deal with it.
Well, like he said, he was just joking around with somebody he knew. Like he even tweeted that. So.
But still, like, you kind of have to think about what you're saying.
It's already turned into a PR nightmare.
Especially as a representative.
Everything you say on the internet is there for people to just completely rip apart.
If you're a representative of a company, then yes, you shouldn't be saying something like that. Especially on such a polarizing topic. So
a topic that they have to know that this always on thing is pissing off everybody. They have to know that. If they're not, they are ignorant to the max. They're basically Square Enix ignorant. which I thought is impossible.
But, yeah. So, do you have anything else you want to say about that, or you think we're done?
Got nothing right now.
I think it could have been approached much better. And I honestly,
A lot better.
I think we would have heard if this guy lost his job or not by now. So I think it's pretty much safe. But definitely got a slap on the
Someone
wrist.
go
I
on
can
LinkedIn,
guarantee
find
that.
out.
Yeah.
But